Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. It's been a while now, but about 15 years ago, I made the comment out loud that, really nobody buys sales training between between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, hell, nobody's doing anything. They're eating cake, they're drinking liquor, they're having a good time. Nobody's buying anything. So why the hell would I try? And so I went through and had a lovely time from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I hunted a whole lot and I was on the phone talking to people, but I really wasn't doing much work and I was doing absolutely zero prospecting because nobody buys during that time. And funny enough, not only did nobody buy between Thanksgiving and December, they didn't buy in January either or February. And you know why? It's because I hadn't been planting seeds. I hadn't been planting the seeds that I would normally plant in October, November, December. And I had a really shitty fourth quarter of that year and a really shitty first quarter of the next year. And I was like, oh my God, what a disaster. And I realized that nobody buys this time of the year. It's a complete excuse. And sure, you're starting to get some people tell you right now, call me at the beginning of the year, call me next year, whatever. That's just normal blow off stuff. Don't worry about it. But here's what I'll tell you. There is a national, and it might be international holiday that many, many people celebrate, and it's their detriment. It's National Screw Off Month. And it starts now, about a week before Thanksgiving, and runs until probably the week after the first of the year, where everybody goes, nobody's doing business right now. Well, here's what I found the next year, because I was hell-bent and determined not to screw myself again. And so what I did was I really put the hammer down from Halloween, from October, all the way through the end of the year. And it was pretty wild because I had the best month of my entire year in November, and then I beat it again in December, and then I had the best first quarter I'd ever had. Wonder why? People are buying what you're selling 12 months out of the year, 52 weeks a year. They're buying your shit unless you decide nobody's buying it and you create your own recession. You create your own bullshit. I'm not going to do anything because nobody's doing anything. These are things we convince ourselves of, and it's complete bullshit. It's costing you money. It's costing you not reaching the goals that you said you wanted to reach. So here's what I want you to do during this time between now and the end of the year. I want you to think about those customers that you have that you really appreciate, the ones that you value that relationship very much. And I want you to make sure that in person, if you can, you thank them. I want you to go, and if you have a present to deliver, something like that, I want you to go, and the best you can, go hand them the present and say, thank you very much, right? Tell them sincerely how much you appreciate their business. Here's another little secret. If you're giving out gifts, don't give gifts with your logo on them. That's very self-serving. They also know it's cheap. You want to do something nice for somebody? Give them something with their name on it. Give them something with their logo on it to show that you personalize something for them. That's a nice thing. Christmas cards, send them or don't, but let people know that you appreciate them. I'd also say, keep making phone calls. Keep knocking on doors. Keep going out and meeting with people. Set meetings with folks. It's just like any other time of the month, any time of the year, but people have budgets they got to spend. They have things they have to fix before year end. They got all this build up for next year. The great thing about prospecting this time of year is that you won't step on your competitors in the parking lot because they're out making excuses just like you were last year. National Screw Off Month is an epidemic. It is overwhelming our country, and you can profit greatly from it, from not participating, from networking. When you're at these parties that you're going to for Christmas, inevitably, take a minute and ask somebody, hey, what do you do? And then if you really want to get them, say, hey, that sounds easy. All right, it's called the 3-foot rule. Anytime you're within 3 feet of somebody else, say, hey, what do you do? I like to say that sounds easy because they always go, what? And then you can engage in a conversation. It's a great way if you don't know how the hell to talk to somebody at a party. We've talked about present, past, future. We've talked about that. Another is just, hey, what do you do? And then that sounds easy. And then smile. And it's funny, the conversations you can get in. You can learn what somebody does. Maybe there's somebody they need to know. Maybe they can introduce you to somebody. Maybe you need to know them, right? But it's a good way, since you're out anyway, to get to know other people. Go network, go ask for referrals. It's a great time to talk to your clients, your customers, and say, thank you so much for doing business with me. I'm curious, what is it that we're doing well that you like? Do you know anybody else who might like that too? Who might think that would be a good thing? Anybody you can introduce me to? Now is the time. Put the hammer down. Ignore all the other crap. Ignore the people in your office who are saying, fuck it, nobody's doing anything. I'm just hungover anyway. Ignore those people. Let them go their own path. Let them have a shitty December. Let them have a shitty first quarter. That's not your problem. And if you're a sales manager, hold people's feet to the fire for behavior now. They'll thank you. They will thank you when they've had a good December and a great first quarter. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. It's National Screw Off Month. Don't participate. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.